She said, ma'am, Ryan didn't have any organs. He didn't have any eyes, he didn't have a heart, he didn't have any lungs, he didn't have any liver, and he didn't have any kidneys. I said, what? That sounds like somebody took my son's organs and sold them on the black market.
You better wake up. The world you live in is just a sugar-coated topping. There is another world beneath it, the real world.
Passed away, but still.
This morning, the daughters of a New Hampshire sheriff's deputy who passed away in 2019 say they're horrified to learn their father's body was part of a grotesque criminal scheme at Harvard University. FBI agents yesterday arrested this man, Cedric Lodge, for allegedly stealing and selling dissected human body parts while he was manager of the morgue at Harvard Medical School. Investigators say in a scheme dating back to 2018, Lodge stole heads, brains, skin, and bones from cadavers donated to the school for educational purposes. He then allegedly brought those parts to his home and, with his wife's help, sold them for tens of thousands of dollars.
Organs in your body, you would be worth $45 million.
Although this is reportedly true, it's not legal to sell most of your organs. Here are the ones that you can sell. Selling your plasma will make you $25 to $50. Sperm can be sold for $125 per shot. Eggs go for much more than that, up to $8,000. And carrying somebody else's baby in your womb can net you $25,000 to $50,000.
Who dropped him off at this convenience store, and then Ryan vanished. 74 days later, his mom received another call, this one from investigators who found Ryan's body.
She said, ma'am, Ryan didn't have any organs. He didn't have any eyes, he didn't have a heart, he didn't have any lungs, he didn't have any liver, and he didn't have any kidneys. I said, what? That sounds like somebody took my son's organs and sold them on the black market.
The autopsy.
Drive-by shootings is organ stealing.
I'm worth $50 million and I need a kidney. And you know, kidneys are pretty sensitive. You gotta find somebody who really got the kidney that matches yours. You think I'm gonna wait till somebody die for me to get one? If I don't get one soon, I'm gonna die. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pay somebody to go research people. Okay, let's go look at all the black organ donors. Let's look at all the black people who got organ donor on their driver's license, which is why I'm not a friend of that. I say, if you want to donate your organs, put it in your will. Say that if I die, this can go to my family, my relatives, my friends, or whomever. But when you put it on your license, I believe you make yourself a public target. And so what did they find? We got a guy in Los Angeles. He has the same blood type as you, same kidney type as you likely. He healthy though, he ain't likely to die no time soon. He don't know you, so he ain't gonna give you no organ for free. So guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna arrange a murder that makes it look like he was in a car accident. We're gonna arrange a murder that makes it look like he committed suicide. So the next thing you know, you coming out the gas station, boom, you get hit by a Mack truck, you dead, gone. You get taken to the funeral home, your family come to the funeral, they don't know that before your body got laid to rest, a little hole was poked and they pulled your kidney out.
A lot of people don't know, when you get arrested or even when you get convicted, a lot of times law enforcement or police will swab your mouth for DNA. And now they have your DNA record on file, they have your genetic information on file. And you have to understand, with law enforcement, a lot of times they'll sell your information to tabloids and, like, especially celebrities, they sell their information to tabloids and magazines and news outlets all the time. So it's not a stretch to believe that they won't use your DNA or your genetic information for nefarious reasons.
You, my son. Cops come by and inform me you just been shot dead. You don't have jurisdiction over that body. That's the coroner. You can't get that body till the coroner release you. So we'll get released, we go down and pick it up, and I see all these cuts and these stitches. I just thought they was doing a routine investigation following the family. I didn't know they took your organs. I'm in all this stress, my son is dead. Now you buried now, I can't dig you up because the court got the permission. Most of those cases is organ stealing.
It's been known for a long time, even back in slavery times, that black organs were considered superior genetically to other folks' organs. For example, whenever there's a transplant, okay, especially when rich folks get heart transplant, liver transplant, kidney transplant, they like white, they like black organs. We had a famous case in Pennsylvania, Governor Casey, who was one of the most racist governors who ever lived back in the late 80s, early 90s. He had a heart transplant. Guess whose heart they gave him? A black person's heart.
Down in Georgia, there was a case of an African-American 17-year-old kid who was found mysteriously dead at school. He died in the gym. They did an autopsy and they buried him. His family, they weren't satisfied with the results because they still wanted to know what happened to their son. They had the body exhumed, found out that his organs were missing and his body was stuffed with newspapers, and people are still trying to find answers. The officials down there in Georgia, they act like they don't know what's going on. There was another case out here in California. A young African-American man was found dead in Death Valley in the desert. All of his organs were missing. His liver, heart, lungs, kidneys, all gone. There's a case in the UK recently. A Somalian girl was brought over there for organ harvesting. They found out that they were going to harvest her organs and they stopped that. There was another case in Asian couples. They went over to Africa. They adopted a black girl. 2 weeks later, she was dead. So these cases of organ harvesting are just going on all over the world, and people are being real quiet about it.
Fair skin has been in favor for the past, what, couple of hundreds of years? But now the pendulum is swung back. Black is in fashion.
Planned Parenthood is accused of some disturbing crimes today. Anti-abortion activists released an undercover video filmed last year. It claims to show a senior official discussing how the organization sells aborted baby parts. Activists posed as potential buyers.
Gangs led by some Israeli officials are now trafficking children's organs. Mr. President, acts of international aggression and piracy by Israel cannot be hidden before the international community. Thank you.
Organs Watch is a university-affiliated documentation and medical human rights project. The mission is to document what in the world is going on within transplant, especially now that living donors who are unrelated are being recruited and shipped and trafficked all over the world, to make it known that it's happening. It is illegal and it's dangerous, and people don't want to talk about it. I mean, it's, you know, you just can't go up to somebody and say, well, how long have you been stealing kidneys from peasants in Moldova? I tried to not just be in hospitals, but to see the buyers, the sellers in their homes. What was the tragedy behind the story that, you know, turned them into sellers, or who were the brokers? And like Rosenbaum. I wrote to a few of my friends, some of them in transplant, and I said, they got him! Finally, why did they take 7 years? Because I did, when I had a meeting with the FBI agent in the Roosevelt Hotel, the Dick Tracy moment, I said, I understand from all of my contacts in Israel that the broker here in New York City is Rosenbaum. What motivates a religious person, as this person was, to become a trafficker? Well, I think in the case of Rosenbaum, he just got corrupted by I think he didn't start out that way. I'm sure he didn't. But you know, he was part of a bigger, something much larger than himself, which was a criminal operation that originated in Israel. The saddest thing is these people, often Russian immigrants, coming in and being frightened and saying, I don't want to do this. I don't know how I got involved in this. Let me go home. And then they were forced. They were coerced.
Father and son from Rosemont have been charged in a scheme that sold body parts on the black market from people who thought they were donating to science. Donald Green Sr. and Jr. are also accused of selling parts they knew were diseased without telling the buyers. They worked at the now-closed Biological Resource Center, which arranged body donations for medical research. Authorities were led to them while investigating a broker in Detroit, a broker now in prison. Green Sr. is charged with wire fraud. Green Jr. is charged with concealing a crime.
New tonight, the body snatcher accused of illegally selling body parts from a Detroit location held a going out of business sale.
People who had business dealings with this man telling Action News the same freezers he used to store arms, legs, and even heads were sold. Jeff Vaughn joins us tonight.
Two funeral home operators from Montrose now facing long prison terms. Megan Hess and her mother Shirley Koch ran the Sunset Mesa Funeral Home on the western slope. Now, they're accused of selling body parts for research without their clients' knowledge and then providing fake ashes to families. Both pled guilty to charges of mail fraud and illegal transportation of hazardous material. Yesterday, a federal judge sentenced Hess to 20 years in prison and Koch to 15 years. City of
always taking action for you. And first at 6, the investigation of a business deal that deals in human body parts shifting from Detroit to Chicago as the feds launch a new raid.
And once again, hundreds of families will be left wondering if the bodies of loved ones have been bought and sold on the black market.
You better wake up. The world you live in is just a sugar-coated topping. There is another world beneath it, the real world.